Sunday. It has to be spring already.
It's not here.
Sunday
Yes,
is always going to happen, whether it's spring or it's not.
Yeah.
And today, we welcome back the wonderful and amazing Daniel Myer. Daniel, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Welcome once again. I think you were one of maybe the first, within the first set of when I started doing live chats some 2 years ago when the damn pandemic first started.
Yeah.
And it was even before we got the beautiful, fancy Simon Paul posters that, I don't know, I think it's worth doing the chat just for one of those Simon Paul posters, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty amazing. Let me cut down. I will just finish Firefox because the connection is kind of slow. Let's see. Should be better now. Yeah.
I still see it. What did you miss me for a second?
There was some glitching in the picture, but I hear you well.
I see even when I look at myself, there's a delay when I look at myself. I try not to look at myself for that. But let us know out there. Hello, everybody. JC Snow, Bird Spanker, Joey Galvin. Happy birthday to you. Gernot Goebel, you're back. My regular guy, Eric Peterson. Hello, everybody. Alice, everybody's here. And we're here back in Leipzig. Can you hear me? Oh, I was just wondering if I pronounced Leipzig properly. Leipzig.
Okay. Well, people that live here say Leipzig. But it's officially Leipzig. But you can say whatever you want to.
I remember there was this big guy that used to work, or he used to come to all the shows back in the 90s when I first met you. And this guy came and said, Leipzig. I thought he was singing Life is Life by, like Leibach. But then I realized that he was saying, I'll see you in Leipzig. So how's everything going? Tell me catch us up on 2 years of pandemic living.
Yeah, well, it's been crazy for all of us, I guess. I started to play shows again this year. Just a couple of weeks ago, I played in Germany. Last week I played in Belgium. It's all with Covenant though, so no single shows for me yet. I play my first show next week with Nights Rap, supporting them in Oberhausen as Liebknecht, which is my most current project. It's more in the veins of like old school electro and techno.
Nice.
And yeah, other than that, the year is shaping up. I have some things on the horizon. I'm working on my US visa right now because we're planning a Covenant tour for the fall. And I also play as Liebknecht at the Cold Waves Festival. So I hope to get my bus back because just before the pandemic hit, this was quite a successful project. I broke through also in the techno markets. Last year, I released a couple of EPs on techno labels, also on vinyl, which is very cool for me because I love vinyl. This year, I'm working on an album for Sonic Groove, which is the label of Adam X. Reese Farber, for example, released on that label, and lots of other artists, like the latest Static Bloom was released on Sonic Groove. So there's some things coming up now. I work quite hard on my album. We're working on a new Haujobb album. We're working on lots of things.
You are a busy man, busy, prolific man.
Not really prolific, but busy, yeah.
You have to be prolific to have so much on the go with projects. As you say, you're making some killer techno. I mean, you're always doing something that's on point. Like you're always like with the modern day. You don't stick like some bands do to a never-ending dirge of 1991 industrial.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I love a lot of music. I listen to a lot of music, so I always try to also be on the current side of the sound that I like. Yeah. And but for example, with Haujobb, we do the complete opposite. With Haujobb, we go completely back to like sampling techniques from the 80s with lots of metal stuff, lots of field works, field noises and stuff like that. So this is also something just to change the pace, I guess.
Did you hold on to the original equipment too? So you've gone back to the same equipment, or they're new samplers?
Oh, not really. They're in the box samplers for the most part, but Dejan's got the little Akai, little cork machines. I got the Akai MPC, which I really like, the MPC Live. It's a fantastic machine.
It is.
And now I just, like the last 6 months, I bought a lot of new analog gear. That sounds kind of old school. I got the Moog Subsequent 37.
Right.
Beautiful. I got the Take 5 from Sequential. I got the Novation Peak, which I really, really like. It's actually my favorite, which is strange because I thought that I would love the Moog better, but the Sequential, the Novation Peak is fantastic. It's a fantastic synth. I don't know if you ever played around with it.
I haven't played with the Peak. I have the other one. What's the smaller FXE one?
The base station, or
yeah, base station.
Yeah, that's also great. That's actually the Haujobb Live synth. We use that quite often.
Yeah, it's a nice synth. You can pretty much do anything on it. What is it that you like about the new one? Is it the Peak you said?
The Peak. First of all, it's very handy. You see, it's a desktop synth, and it's just everything is there. You don't need to scroll through menus. It's hands-on. It's a really hands-on synth, and that's what I love about it. And the sound is fantastic. You got onboard effects, which I don't really care for, but for live use, it's very handy to have that. I played with it when we were in Belgium with Covenant. We did a vintage show of the first 2 albums, so I needed a very compact setup, and I had it on stage, and it worked perfectly for the old school sound.
Is that more like a super saw type sounding stuff?
Well, you can get stuff out of that, but not really. It's more like a very experimental synth. I can even get some kind of modular sequences out of it because it's got also an inbuilt sequencer, and it's really fantastic.
Is it like one step up from the base station in that sense, like more?
I would say it is. It's got more. It's got more voices. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, it's my favorite synth at the moment. And what I also got like a month ago is this one. I don't know if you have this. If you got this. This is fucking beautiful.
It's nice with the update.
It's a beast. It's a fucking beast.
The bass line is also really cool too.
I got it right underneath.
Isn't it stupid how much bass that thing has? I mean, the circuitry on that. Yeah, I gotta applaud Erica Synths on that bass box. It's just to use it for a blip here and there. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
From Novation, I remember Tom Ellard from I'm wearing my Severed Head shirt today to big up Tom. Was talking about how that guy came along. He was the original designer of the Oscar synth that came along when it's a Novation.
Exactly. Yeah. That's also what I heard afterwards, after I got it. I just got it because I love the base station so much, but I wanted something for the desktop. And first I got the Moog Grandmother, but I'm not a modular guy. I know you all love modular, but that's not me. But I love the sound of the Grandmother. Yes. But then I thought I need something where I can also store my stuff. So I got the Subsequent from Moog, and I will keep it because I like it a lot. Because I guess you have to have a Moog in your setup.
Is the Grandmother, like, I mean, I thought it sounded fantastic as well. But maybe is it the spring reverb in it that sounds fantastic?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sounds fantastic.
So. I mean, sometimes, a good spring reverb can make just any synth sound good. So you have to kind of wonder. And I guess like working with it the way there's no presets and stuff that you can basically save. I don't mean start presets, but like, save one of your patches is kind of frustrating in that sense. Novation also has the Summit too. Did you ever play with that?
I think the Summit is one step up of the Peak, but I never played with it because it's very expensive. And I got all my gear basically used on reverb.com, so I got very good deals on them.
That's how you go about it. And what about the sequential Take 5?
Take 5. I got it.
I see down.
Also, I got it also because it's cheap, and I'm not sure yet. I like it, but it sounds kind of a software synth, to be honest.
Exactly. I mean, how could it not? I don't know. Serum is a lot easier to work with than an external box, and if it's not going to be any better, I thought the same sort of feeling about it. If it can't be something that will stand out or be a reason why you would have it.
Yeah.
Have you tried?
I actually tried to make some metallic sounds out of it with there's some kind of FM function that you can use, but it's not harsh enough. So I wanted something more from a sequential synth, because, for example, I love that software version of the Pro. It's a Pro 53 or whatever that's called, or
Right.
And I love that software version, and you can get really crunchy stuff out of it. And I can't get that out of the Take 5, which is really.
It kind of seems like some of the newer synths that have come out are obviously not as aggressive as some of the older synths that we once loved and knew. But how do you get around that? Do you use pedals, or do you like to use external plugins and stuff like that to make your synth sound better?
Well, I also have from Erica Synth the Fusion box that I like to make it a little more crunchy, but it's a little hard to control. And so I use a lot of inbuilt distortion stuff. For example, I like the glitch machine stuff. I like the Subvert, or what else do they have? The Fracture, I think it's called. I think glitch machines makes pretty crazy stuff that I like. And I like the Native Instrument stuff. The drive is pretty good for distortion kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about the Hydrosynth? Did you try that? The Explorer, the little guy, or the Deluxe? Have you had a chance?
No.
I think you'll like it if you hear it. It's definitely sort of like a brand new take on, I want to say, like the ESQ.
Okay.
It's just really nice digital DCO manipulation with really nice. I don't know. I just found it very intuitive, and it's one of the only synths I've actually bought in the last. Well, actually, you mentioned the Kai MPC. I found that to be, out of the last few years, like this kind of like a head-shakingly good deal for all the things you can do within that. Do you like to work? Do you find yourself sequencing within the box in that sense, or are you just recording sequences that you do on the MPC into?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do, and I basically only use it live to fire up sequences and to synchronize it with whatever I have on the computer. But I think it's got potential to actually use it also in the studio, because the sound quality is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was saying earlier, I did a segment on the auto sampling feature, where in fact, say for instance, if you had the grandmother and you had a great patch up, you can do that auto sampling feature where it will sample an entire key group range that you set up in about 2 minutes. You just hit a few buttons and then sample it into your MPC, and then you've got the exact sound too. The only thing you really have to adjust is the envelopes, the amplitude envelope, make it sustain the way it would on your keyboard. But essentially, try that. It will blow your mind, because I do that with modular stuff now. Where I'll get like a range of a sound and be like, or sometimes when we used to do samples in the old days, where we'd have like a whole key group across range of keys would be kick, snare, hi-hat, and all that stuff. How to back that up quick is just do an auto sampling feature into the MPC.
I never tried that. That sounds great.
Every disc that I have from the S900 and S1000 into there in 2 days. And so now I have it all, but like, yeah, I was really blown away with that. So how, you say you're integrating this live in sync with your computer. What DAWs are you liking to work with now?
I still use Studio One and Bitwig a little bit, because Bitwig got this modular thing inside, and I tried to get into the modular, but I guess because I need to get to the point very, very quickly, and I'm always and I'm also producing other bands still that I fiddle around too much with modular stuff. So I'm working a lot in the box with my Studio One stuff, Studio One DAW.
You've been kind of a big proponent of Studio One. I remember last time you were talking about it, and someone was saying you called it a collaboration dream.
Well, I'm also kind of lazy, I think, to learn new things, to be honest. I tried Ableton.
Why should you though? If you're fluid and you're good,
yeah, exactly.
In certain ways, you say, I want to get quick to the point. You don't want to sit there and have to be like, oh wait, how does that? Oh shit, where's the? I hate that. I mean, it's great when somebody makes something intuitive enough that you can open the door and go. So, did you find Studio One to be that on that level for you?
Yeah, exactly. I use it for over 10 years now, and it does it for me. I love it.
Yeah. I haven't actually looked at it or even tried it, though I did over this last couple of years go and try all the other ones.
Okay.
Bitwig and even Fruity Loops. What's that new one? Fruity Loops. Them all. Okay. But I just found myself saying the same as you. It's like I want to move quickly.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck in this new world of everything. So I immediately went back to my Logic 9, which everyone's like, why Logic 9? I don't know. It's just like I don't even have to think to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start going, and then within a second of putting it back up, I was already tracking this sound that I had got up in the meantime. It was like, so yeah, that is important to have something like that. So do you use Studio One Live when you play?
Yes, I do. But also for lazy reasons, because what I prepared in the studio is on the laptop already, because I use the laptop also in the studio. So it's there. I just put it on stage and play it off the laptop, and I just add other machines then live.
Did you do any gigs in 2021?
I did a couple, actually more than a couple. We did, I think 6 or 7 gigs with Covenant in the end of the year, but all outdoors. We didn't do any indoor shows last year. And I did a few DJ gigs at this toilet in Berlin, at this toilet booth in Berlin. And I did a couple of DJ sets also in Berlin for a friend. But everything was on a very small scale.
I mean, it's been such a challenge at the same time for those of us that like rely on getting out.
Oh yeah.
Support yourself and what you're doing and everything like that. Were you finding it extra challenging, or was it kind of a break for you to be able to focus on making music?
No, I need to play live in order to be creative. Actually, I need to travel. I need the input. I need the experience, and this was very challenging just to do nothing, for a very, very long time, just to stay home and try to force everything out of me. That was really hard.
But there was one good thing that came out of it, is that you got married.
I got married, yeah. Oh. What the fuck?
Congratulations. I think that's wonderful. I know you faced some challenges. I can't imagine now The challenges. Well, your wife is from Russia, and I know that the last time that we spoke, you weren't even able to see her for a period of time.
Yeah, it was for 6 months. It was crazy.
I mean, so and then inevitably you get a chance to be together, and at that point, it's like, okay, I'm never letting you go again, right? Is that how it happened?
Well, the idea was before that I will never let her go, but it was and it is still challenging because she still has she's a bird owner, as you just saw on the picture, and the bird is still in Russia.
Oh, no.
And so she goes there to visit him every once in a while. She actually goes back in a month to go visit the bird and to visit her parents. And but she's here right now. Adelia, you want to say hi real quick?
There's your bird.
There's the bird. There's Adelia.
Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you. I don't believe
Nice to meet you.
I don't think we've ever met. What is your name?
Adelia.
Adelia?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? I'm the worst with pronunciation.
Yes. No, perfect. Well,
That's very good.
It's the Western way to say it. I think she is from Tatarstan, and they say it a little differently in original, I guess.
Yeah, originally it sounds like Adila.
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 Yeah, but I guess, guys, for you it's easier to
Adelia.
pronounce it Adelia.
Yeah.
Where is that in Russia?
Tatarstan is in the very middle part of Russia. It's a small republic in Russia Federation, Tatarstan, with the capital named Kazan. If you are about soccer, maybe you know Rubin.
No. He's American. They don't care about soccer.
Okay, you don't care about soccer. Then never mind.
Well, he's actually Canadian living in America, but yeah.
It's a very middle part of Russia, very middle part.
Daniel, how did you meet Daniel? Was it a
Instagram.
Yeah.
2000. Yeah. The future.
Wonders of Instagram.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful story that has unfolded over the course of Instagram into real life then.
Yeah.
Because I love watching you guys through your posts and stuff. On your Instagram, most of your life it's barely little to do with music and mostly to do with your personal life.
Yeah, because also the last 2 years was not much about music, but I try to be less private in the future and to be more about music.
Yeah, we're just very happy. So
yeah.
If you're really happy, there is no reason for you to show it each and every day, actually, I guess.
I mean, one thing you have to attest to is Daniel as good a cook? Pictures. I mean, come on, I want to run over to Daniel's house right now and start trying some of this stuff.
Which one was that? That was the.
I don't remember, but
that took some. Oh yeah, I love ramen.
No, he's really number one. He is the best cook I ever met. I was never married before, but I'm sure he's the best husband.
Oh, that's awesome.
He is very thankful also, and it's pleasure for me to be his wife. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. You guys, I just say congratulations and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
By the way, is this your cat?
No, we don't have any animals at home, unfortunately, but her bird that is still in Moscow. No, this cat we actually met in Spain just a couple of months ago. And it was so beautiful. It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I love cats, and that cat, you know, instantly I thought, like, Daniel has a Siamese cat. Oh, that's incredible.
Well, we went to that restaurant that was in the mountains, and this cat was just there on the farm, actually.
Yeah, being not afraid at all. To contact.
Beautiful cat.
Beautiful, yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, that was very, very nice to meet you, and all the best. And
all the best to you as well.
Okay?
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Everybody says hello on the side. Hello. So what's the deal with Daniel Myer Day? Is it happening this year?
Not this year. It's a little complicated story. The original guy that books at that venue that I usually do this, you actually met him. Rick was his name. He left the venue in December, and the guy who took over actually forgot about Planet Maya Day. So it's not going to happen this year. We're going to do it next year in the same venue, but I got a date set for April, which did not happen because the guy forgot about me. And so we found a date for next year for January. And then we're going to do a smaller version just to build it up again, because the last was quite big with Front 242. So yeah, we're going to do a little smaller version with a couple of bands from one band from Belgium, one band from Poland, and the rest is local.
I mean, it has to be done. Where is it going to be at?
At the Moordspastei.
That place is the best.
I love it. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like it. I think we talked about it in our previous chat.
Yeah.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. This place is incredible. It's like built in like about the 1500s and has been, I guess, used for various purposes. Here's a drawing.
Wow. You went digging deep. Wow.
1700s it existed, and of course, and it has quite a layout. Many like little cavern dens. First time I ever went in it, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
It must be something that is there a lot of great venues in Leipzig, or is it, I mean, it just seems like there's an endless amount of venues that do the Wave Gothic Treffen there.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of venues. Actually, we have from like stadium, obviously, where the local team plays. We have quite big arenas where I think Sting was supposed to play, but he just postponed the show. Elton John is going to come here. So we have a lot of big venues, and we have some smaller venues, but not much in between. Like we have like a couple of 2,000 or 3,000 people venues. We have one for 5,000 or 6,000, and then there's a lot for 500 and below. So there's not much for 1,000 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember which venue we played there with Download, but it sure was beautiful.
That was big also, yeah.
Also a big room, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the Wave Gothic Treffen didn't happen for the last couple of years, or did it?
It didn't happen, but they went ahead and planning it for this year. It's going to be the first weekend of June. And I think it's also going to be a little smaller this year, just to build it up again. And I think they have some international artists invited, but I guess it's still difficult to travel. I don't even know. I didn't fly out of Europe since 2 years.
I think Chris Corner just agreed to do a set. He'll be flying over to do an IMX Modular set, which is quite cool.
And he's going to do like a full tour, I think, in June also.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that giant of a tour. It's like 6 or 8 shows or something like that. But nevertheless, I know that the IMX crew has trimmed down in size to it's only 6 people in the entire touring party. So they made it a lot easier for them to travel and to do stuff like that instead of having a full big band. But we just canceled our shows at Hellfest and Sinners Day Fest for June of this year.
I read about that.
It was a big drag to have to do that. A large part of the problem, though, was the fact that there is no tour buses available at all whatsoever, even though we had one reserved. And also, so we were left with the choice that, well, the only way that you can do this is you have to fly your crew. So fly everybody in, and then fly from basically any show that we were going to be able to do. We're thinking, oh wait, that's
crazy.
That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
especially when for 11 people, you think of everybody making it okay and not getting sick and everything like that. It just seemed like, well, it was also for a band coming from America, it's a huge financial risk. So you pay for everybody to get there, you pay for all your rehearsals, all your production costs, and then hopefully you can do the show.
Yeah.
Our worry was we'd get there and then one person would be sick and we'll be like, oh shit, we can't do the show. What are we gonna do? It's like almost like Las Vegas style odds in that case.
Yeah.
So we thought like, this is not a good way to start after not touring for now it's been 5 years since we've toured. All of a sudden, just like that, time was just gone whoosh.
Yeah.
I just can't believe how fast, like really time is shooting ahead. So, I mean, you've played with Covenant, and Covenant is a few guys as well when you travel. How do you guys keep it safe when you're traveling and you idealize doing a tour now? What's the plan?
Yeah, that's tricky. Eske had COVID already twice with mild symptoms. I didn't catch it yet. We are all jabbed 3 times.
Same.
So it's just you have to be careful, I guess. But the thing is that the people in the venues, they just want to party. They don't care about being careful, So we basically avoid hanging out after. I mean, I avoid it. Eske likes to party. I'm not a big party guy anymore. But it's you have to be just responsible. You have to be you have to watch out for yourself and of course of your travel party. And with Covenant, we travel very light. For example, the Belgium gig, it was just me and Eske. We didn't even bring any light or tech guy. It was just the 2 of us. And for the German tours, we are 5 people, light, sound, and the 3 people on stage. We don't bring a tour manager. That's also part that the sound tech is doing. So we just keep it tight, I guess. And of course, when we do big festival shows, we try to have a bigger crew. But there was no big festival show yet. So we're going to see. We're going to play this year at Mera Luna. If it's happening, so let's hope we're going to have a big production there at least.
You got to wonder how you think about that backstage area at Mera Luna. All it is like a central eating area where everybody all gets their mouth open and eats and chews food and basically laughs and hugs each other. It's like, wait, how do you do that and be? I mean, it's kind of like, okay, so here in America, you've got this situation where, as you said, people just want to party that go to the shows. If you see the audience for a Tool show that has like 15,000 people at it, like 75 to 85% of them all are not wearing masks.
Yep.
And they're all really screaming loudly next to each other. And it's uncanny to think that those guys made it through that entire 2-month-long tour without having an issue. But their rules were, like, as you said, they can't see people after the show.
Yep.
They can't party. They can't go out. They can't have people backstage. If somebody has to go and meet up with a certain band member, they had to get tested before they did.
Wow.
So that's how careful they were being. And then each one of their band members had, fortunate enough for them, their own bus.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can't imagine how nice that would be, but
well, that's a big production, so of course, yeah.
And they had a security guy making sure nobody even came in near their space. So that's how they did it. Now, when you look at people like Ministry that just is touring now, and it looks like they're going to make it through their tour without an issue, which is commendable, considering they as well had a 1.5 month long tour without issue.
Yeah.
Gary Newman's tour, they did have an issue. Gary got COVID, and they had to skip 6 shows.
Okay.
Luckily, only 6.
Is he okay? Is he doing okay?
It's okay now. Actually, they were able to continue the tour at some point.
Okay.
But so the big question is that when you make a tour now, you kind of almost have to bear in mind like the the risk of like, well, what happens if, and what will we do? And that's the, for me, that's the, we never used to have to think about that stuff when we played games. I mean, let's face it, dressing rooms are some of the messiest places in the world usually.
Yes.
But some clubs, I swear, they've never cleaned their dressing room. So I don't know. It's creating a whole new list of challenges, but I don't know.
Just the cost alone. I'm just thinking about if you have to skip 6 shows, you have to pay the crew for the time being. Like they expect to get paid, right? They need food, they need hotels and stuff. Fucking crazy. So
you also have to pay for the hotel where you have to quarantine everybody.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell.
Bringing in supplies until you can move on with a safe COVID test. And then granted your driver or whatever you've got will still be there or not. But I mean, such a big, I don't know. It's made it a lot more difficult being a musician.
Yep.
How do we get around these things?
I think here right now, you're basically, I think if you catch COVID, it's not mandatory to quarantine anymore. You have to, you can decide for yourself if you do it or not. And of course, smart people do that, I guess. I think only if you work in the health system, then you are required to quarantine.
You know, maybe it could be too that you and I, even though we feel that we haven't had it throughout all this time, maybe we actually are just asymptomatic and maybe we did have it and we don't know.
I think I actually got it in the very beginning because when it first came out, I did a couple of gigs, one in Finland, one in Paris or in France, traveling by plane and by train, and I was in contact with a lot of people. And right when I came home, I had some mild, like cold symptoms, and this could have been it, but I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah,
it's one of those things. Well, I guess the best thing to do in that case is that, you know, we can see you sitting here.
Oh yeah, that's what I do right now.
Is that your setup?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the Take 5 now here. The Take 5 is not next to me, left next to me. I have a little setup now where the ball is there. I have this little table now with the peak and the Take 5 and the little Modular. I don't know if you know this one. You know this machine? Do you see that?
Hold on.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's an FM synth.
Oh, right. How is it? Let's hear your rating on it.
It's crazy. It's I hate to skip through the menus, but the sound that it does, that's exactly what I wanted from the Take 5. If I want like FM kind of sounds, but I was never big with FM synths because it's so complicated to program them. But whatever I do with it, I love it. There's always, whenever I fiddle with it, there's always
something out of it.
Yeah, even if it's just some metallic percussion sound, but it's always special. You know, it's always something I never heard before. So that's what I like about this.
Have you played with the Pulsar 23 or any of the stuff from the? What is that?
I wanted to. Last time I was in Russia, I was actually going to buy this. What's it? Not the Pulsar, the machine they released before.
Lyria, I was thinking.
Yeah, Lyria, this drone synth. Because from the demos that I saw and the videos I saw, it sounded fantastic, and I wanted that. But when I was in Russia, I couldn't get a hold of it, and to ship it over here, it was too expensive. And then I just forgot about it. In the meantime, did you play with it?
I haven't played with the Lyria. I played with Pulsar 23, but Cyrus bought 2.
Of course he does.
So there you go. What speakers are these that they're using here?
It's the Adam S2V.
And how are they?
Well, phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Are they pricey speakers? Are they German?
They're German. I think Cyrus actually got them in his studio also.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
I think he got them. or a similar version, also the same size, I think. They're too expensive for me. They are 6,000 euro, and I just got them from the company because I know the guy. I know a guy that works there, and he's pretty supportive. And I told him I'm about to finish an album, and I need good speakers. And he just sent them to me to finish my album.
That's nice.
That's incredible. Yeah,
I would love to hear them. I've heard great things about them, and Cyrus hasn't raved to me yet, so I'll have to ask him about it.
Ask him about it. I mean, I think I worked with Adam before, but only smaller versions. I had the A7X, and then I came to Cyrus Studio and I heard these, and I was blown away. The thing is that I have them because I live now in an apartment building with lots of tenants, and I can't have a subwoofer, so I needed something that translates the bass, and these are perfect for that.
It looks like it even blows some air out of the bottom ports here on your face if you've got some nice.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I didn't really crank it up all the way, so I'm sure they can be really loud.
Is this Studio One on your laptop here?
Yeah, that's Studio One.
Do you always work on a laptop, or do you ever have a mainframe big screen computer?
I had a what's it called, the iMac.
Yeah.
But because I'm also producing other bands, I used to travel a lot. I needed to have my setup always with me, so that's why I got everything on the laptop.
What interface do you like to use with that?
On the picture you see left to it, it's the SSL2 Plus.
This here?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
a small solid state logic interface, but it's got two preamps, two solid state logic preamps for vocals that I use, that I love. It's really convenient, and you get a couple of free plugins with it, and it's only $200, so it's fucking cheap. Yeah.
Made by SSL?
Made by SSL, yeah.
What the? Oh, come on! I've been missing out. That sounds like a great.
It's a great deal.
It's got a big knob on it. That's controlling your output level to those speakers.
That's just the level. You have two phone outputs.
Oh.
You have a monitor mix output, and you have these two preamps. The two knobs next to the big one are the gains for the preamps.
Wow,
it's fantastic.
That's a really beautiful setup. Is that where you're sitting right now, or just facing the other way?
That's where I'm sitting right now. Yeah.
So you've got a beautiful view out of the window there too.
Yeah, I can actually see the stadium where Red Bull Leipzig is playing. That's our local soccer team. They are in the first division, quite successful, and I see the stadium from here.
There's a soccer stadium. Can you see the games going on?
No. I just see the big how do you call it? The roof kind of, yeah.
So
and they have two big Red Bull signs on top, and that's what I see basically.
It's hard to believe already, isn't it, that like it's already 8 years since we did our wonderful tour together.
Yeah, that's a picture from last year that we played at this festival close to Leipzig in Deutzen.
This is what Haujobb looks like today.
No, actually not. The guy on the right, it's not Dejan. That's our video technician. Dejan didn't want to play because he was still scared of going outside. So the guy on the right is Grobkorn. He's our video technician. Yeah, there's Dejan on the right, and on the left was Gabe. Yeah, that was us supporting you. It was one of the best tours I ever did.
Well, tell me about it. It was so fun too. Everybody was so happy to see each other every day when we go up and had such a great time. I would love to see this happen again, and I'm gonna. Wow.
And you got to see Youth Code every day, and I got to see you perform every day. Oh, it was a dream. It was a fucking dream.
Assembly, and it was fun. I mean, it's actually in all the tours that I think I've ever done with a bunch of bands, that was easily the most fun tour.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that it's like 8
Look at me.
years ago. What?
I'm a little bigger.
You have definitely trimmed up since those days. Look at how good you look now. What's the deal? What's the new regiment?
I do rehabilitation. I had a surgery on the knee 2 years ago, and since October, I say lots of sports. My wife would disagree, of course. But I do some sports, and I lost a lot of weight till the end of the year. I lost I was down to 85 kilograms.
Wow.
Now I'm back to 97 because we went to Spain. I had lots of good food, and she's now here, and we eat a lot. But I just started my training again 2 weeks ago, and I'm on the down curve again. So I need to just need to be careful, and I need to work out more.
You just need to drink lots of water before you go to bed, I hear.
Yeah, but actually on the tour I was like 110 kilos, so I was quite heavy back then.
Well, touring you can lose lots of good weight too, but I don't know. It just seems like you're on a way healthier regiment now. I mean, I just your facial looks even. Hey, why is everyone always DJing in this bathroom?
Exposure. It took over basically what Boiler Room was before the pandemic. So it was just a good way to get yourself out there, to get your name out, I guess.
But why does it have to be in a bathroom?
Yeah, I have no idea. They just set it up, and they are very, very successful doing that. It broke a lot of ground for lots of young artists over here.
Yeah, we all see it. That is for sure. It's certainly gets well promoted. So, is it fun to do this set? Is this a Boiler Room produced?
No, it's not. They did their own thing, and it's not fun because they have to keep the volume low because they are also neighbors.
No. Listen to it, but don't listen to it.
So you can't really crank it up all the way, but it's fun to see the reaction of the people afterwards. And sometimes when you play with different people, when you do like a back-to-back set, that's fun. Oh, that was fun. That was crazy. That was the first DJ gig I did after 4 months of being home, being in the lockdown.
That's down in Spain, though, right?
That was in Spain 3 weeks ago, or
what's the scene like down there?
It's pretty much like everywhere. The scene is, except they're a little younger there.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, the scene here in Germany is very old. I would say 40 plus is it's just what it is. There, it's a little bit younger, but it's basically the same. And it was a little strange. I was basically the headlining DJ that night, but there was a DJ right before me who played, like there were two DJs before me, Albert and Jorge. And they played really cool, mostly Spanish alternative stuff, like indie guitar, some synth stuff. And I knew exactly what I was going to play when I took over. But then the guy who booked me, he decided to play right before me a 20-minute set. And he performed with an act. There was this guy doing some fire shit. And the DJ he played for 20 minutes, at least 40 tracks, all mixed like Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Blur's Sang 2, all mixed in this EDM style. So very quick, horrible music. So he ruined the whole evening, the whole vibe of the evening. So I started with Depeche Mode, and when I start with this, it's not going to end well, because then I was just clueless what to play. And but I played for an hour. It was fun in the end, but I was a little off. Yeah.
I mean, that's the challenges of like what I see is like, yeah, when I ask, well, how's the scene there? Is it like, that sounds like something that would happen for sure in a place where like that, where you just can't imagine.
Well, they also just wanted to dance, and they really reacted well to the DJs before me when they played this alternative stuff. So I thought I could just start with some easy, more like moving to the disco, like indie disco stuff, and then do harder stuff like my routine. But I couldn't. I was just off. I was just Yeah, the DJ before me just threw me off, and because he basically cleared the dance floor, you know, they were just staring at this performer with a fire. They didn't care for the music. Then the performer was gone, but he continued playing for 15 minutes. This crazy shit, EDM, horrible dance crap that was like 170 BPM and more, you know, just and with this.
You should have thanked him. You should have been like,
yeah, I should have kicked him off the stage.
Yeah. Where do you think is like a new place for you to go in Europe and play? Is there some uncharted territory where electronic music is still like vibrant and fresh, and you show up and people are like flipping out?
It could be everywhere right now. I think even in Berlin, people are still freaking out if you play the right stuff. I don't know, actually. It could be like we played during the pandemic in Poland. In November, we played a Haujobb gig there, and it was really, really good. It was a small audience, but we played a couple of new tracks, and they loved it. So people are open-minded to new material. I think they are, yeah, maybe tired of the same old, you know, maybe.
Yeah. So when is the new Haujobb going to be out?
No idea.
But it's in the can?
It's in the can. No, it's not in the can, but
almost in the can.
We have all the demos finished. I still need to write lyrics, and I'm terrible at writing lyrics. But all the music is basically done, like the demos are done. We just need to put vocals on it and then mix it, do the final polishing and adding all the weird samples that we collected. Yeah.
I always wondered how people write lyrics and vocals for songs. I mean, I kind of got the idea that, like, if you look at that Paul McCartney thing where he basically writes a song with like fuddle-duddle lyrics, like blah blah doo doo blah. And later he's written down how many syllables he needs to fill. I mean, it kind of sounds like it might be fun, but do you have a particular way that you approach a song? Is it like lyrical that you have to put these lyrics into the song, or is it more like a reaction to the music that then you put in the words like that, like a Paul McCartney style?
No, I mean, I did also this Paul McCartney thing for a while. Just whenever I finished a demo, I felt like, okay, I need to record what I have in mind, how the lyrics could sound like. And sometimes I just open up like lyrics of editors or something that thought I could fit, and then I had to change it in the end. Sometimes I just do some weird English that is not English. Just
that's always good though.
Yeah,
that's just good. You can just, like, I always say that Bill Lieb gets away with things when he just switches a word into German here and there. It's like, it's you know, if you speak German, you should be able to do that, and then no one will really know. In some ways, I think in some ways it sounds cooler when there's two languages in the song too.
Yeah, it sounds cooler for the person not speaking that language, but for me, it's always sounded weird when I try to throw in something German.
I like it. But you and DJing have had what? How long have you guys known each other for?
98. No, 89. Since 89. So 33 years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we work together.
I mean, he wasn't with Haujobb when we played with. Oh, that was 96. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no. We do Haujobb since 91, I think.
91. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Haujobb originated in 92, but me and Dejan, we already worked together since 91. He bought a synth, I had a synth and a drum machine. Then he bought a drum machine, and then that was basically the starting point. And then we met this guy who had the samplers, and that's when Haujobb started. And
you were saying that he hasn't liked the idea of going out and playing live yet. So have you actually played live with DJing?
Yeah, that was in June last year. But the show in Poland, in November, we did together. And he just had COVID a few months ago. and it was a mild symptoms, and he's also jabbed for 3 times. I think that's why he got only mild symptoms. So now I think now he's ready to actually play.
I
And
mean,
we have one show lined up for July here in Leipzig.
oh, that's good. Well,
Yeah.
I guess in some ways, if you get COVID and it's mild and you know you're past it, in some ways, I guess that must make you feel a little better.
Yeah.
Like, well, if I'm vaccinated and I've had it, my immunity must be certainly higher than than the average person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I guess to you and I, someone who doesn't feel like we maybe haven't had it, I guess we're waiting for that day that we know. Oh shit! I don't know. Anyways, I keep on strolling back towards COVID, and I don't want to do that. But
I'm actually surprised every time I go out and come back that I didn't catch it yet. I'm really surprised because I travel by train sometimes, and yeah, I'm just surprised. Even when I go to the market here, people don't wear masks anymore, and I guess I'm lucky, or
so they're doing that there too, right? They're at the point where they've stopped wearing the masks.
They are.
Yeah, they're doing that here too.
I'm still wearing it sometimes when I don't feel safe, when I'm in a crowd of big people, and I want to take care of Adelia, of course. You know, I don't want to risk her getting infected, and so I'm just careful because it's also implemented in me. You know, for 2 years they taught us wash your hands, wear the mask. So it's in me. I can't just get rid of it like that. You know. And then you hear this stuff in China that they just lock down full cities because they got this new variation. So I just want to be careful. Yeah,
absolutely. It is weird. One of my friends who's in China was telling me that they have to do a mandatory COVID test every 2 days, and they're on forceful lockdown.
wow.
So it's like, what's going on over there? Is it like the Omicron BA2 variant as it is over here? I don't know. Also, like, you know, there's some crazy stuff that happens in Britain, where Britain gets like, it's like 1 in every 13 people is active with COVID right now in the UK, apparently, according to the experts, of the Omicron BA2 variant. And they said, well, that most certainly says that the rest of the societies and the US in general, as usually follows the UK, should have a BA2 outbreak. But so far that hasn't happened here.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened to a great degree. It is rising, but it hasn't happened in the highest figures yet. So it's like kind of odd to see how it's going, but it's even odder and harder to try and plan any sort of activities or so on like that. But that's great to hear that you are moving towards the idea of getting out. So when's the first shows you're going to go do?
The first Haujobb show is in July at a festival nearby Leipzig with lots of scene bands. Also Covenant is playing, and some newer bands, Empathy Test, Aesthetic Perfection, stuff like that.
And you said you were focusing on your new techno thing. How do you say it? Liebesnacht?
Liebknecht. Well, I'm Liebknecht. This is more like it started out as like kind of EBM techno. The last few releases were more like old school electro, like with like this kind of beats.
Nice.
And right now I'm working on my album for Sonic Groove, which will be a Daniel Myer album. My first Daniel Myer album.
Really?
Which is also, it's interesting to do that. And
how will that sound? Can you verbally do that one?
What sound?
How will Daniel Myer album?
Oh, that sound. Yeah, that's a good question. It's pretty much a mix of all my influences, and because it's on Sonic Groove, it's supposed to be dance and techno, but there's also a lot of drone stuff in there, lots of melodies like pets influenced by you, basically, because I'm still a fan of your atmosphere stuff, you know. So it's just in me. I just can't turn it off, you know.
Yeah. Wow. How much I don't know. It's like when you put your own name on it, it's like you've made probably what, 20, 30, 40 albums. What makes it time now to say Daniel Myer instead of architect or one of your other genotypes?
Actually, Adam, the label owner, asked me to do something with my name. He thought it's time, like with Reese Falber. He also suggested to release a Reese Falber album, so Reese did it, and it worked well for Reese. So I thought maybe why not for me? You know, why? Maybe I should do it too. And I DJed quite often in that scene in Berlin as Daniel Myer, and then they just added my different project titles in the end. But people came out; they know my name, so I guess it's about time to release something under my name.
That's awesome. I'm anxiously looking forward to that. Do you feel that you still have like something inside you that's just waiting to get out musically, or do you feel that you had a long history? Do you feel that you've expressed quite a fair amount of what you set out to do, or is there still a big picture waiting to come from Daniel Myer?
Well, there might be not a big picture, but there's still my idea of the music that I like, that I wanted to show to the world, and I think there's still a lot of stuff that I can present, you know.
In LA, it seems like there's kind of a return to the raver gabber sort of world again. It's like the super saw is coming back into
Oh, yeah.
It's happening over there too.
Oh yeah, it's all the new techno stuff. It's 140 plus BPM.
Yeah,
with trance melodies.
Yes,
it's fucking horrible.
What are we gonna do about that?
Fucking and even the fashion is back. They wear the buffalo shoes again. It's all back. It's all back to the 90s.
Well, we say we're always doomed to repeat ourselves.
Yes, we are.
But, is there anybody that's making music these days that you feel is just way ahead of the game or in the future, so that somebody that we should know about?
Oh, there's a lot of artists that are incredible.
Any in particular you want to drop?
Well, I like Ben Lucas Boysen still. I think I mentioned it the last time. He used to release as Heck, HECQ, and now he's just releasing under his own moniker, Ben Lucas, under his name, Ben Lucas Boysen. Alessandro Cortini, of course, he's the man. He's whatever he does. I mean, he has this certain sound that you hear with the first note that it's him. And I love his material. I love everything he does.
Did you try his synth that was made through Make Noise?
The Mega Strake or Straker Mega or whatever.
Straker, I think it's called.
Yeah, it was not for me. It was not for me. I liked it. I tried it, but it was not for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then there's lots of techno stuff that I like, but nothing. I like Headless Horseman. He's a really cool producer, and Peril is a guy from Berlin also that I like. There's lots of stuff really. That's also very unfortunate that there's too many good artists out there.
That's great. I noticed that Helena Hoft is always playing sort of like old like music from the 90s or something like that. It's like techno stuff that she's kind of like made kind of cool again. It's like, hey, did you miss this or did you miss this? Is there sort of a resurgence of kind of like looking into that? I know this has been for a while, but
no, there is, but the techno scene has always been like that they do go back to the originators, which is in that case it's pretty cool, I think, because there was stuff from Detroit that was always good, and like Underground Resistance and stuff like that, you know, that is just still mind-blowing.
It is. And then half the people now when they hear it, they'll be like, this is new. They'll be like, no, this is old. So let's take some questions here. Let's see. Adam Booth says, DM is so good. Plans for a vinyl release of Vertical Theory or Polarity?
Yes, actually, we are working with, what's the name? Dependent. They are going to do re-releases for sure for Polarity. I'm not sure if they do it for Vertical Theory also. Hey, Adam.
Is that with Stefan Herwig?
Yes, yeah, that's Stefan Herwig.
Give him a hug for me. He's a quiet guy, but I still think that guy's a very nice guy.
He's a quiet guy?
He's a quiet guy to us in our world. I think there's some resentment. He felt chuffed over something in the past, but hopefully one day he won't. I have a.
He's very opinionated, but
yeah.
He calmed down a lot. He's a very passionate guy, and he loves music. And say hello from me, Daniel, and coming from you.
I
will. Yeah.
Let's see, Max Matson. I would love to hear stories of the 2 tracks each of you remix for each other. I guess you remixed as a pseudonym download.
Two tracks, Atalal and something else.
It was a great Atalal remix you did.
Yeah.
Actually, at that time, I wasn't too sure I think that was maybe the first time I'd heard your music, and I was like, "Wow, this guy's really good." So it was nice.
But that was very challenging because we just split with our third guy who had all the gear.
Oh.
So me and Dejan just got this Akai S2800 sampler, and we did everything within that sampler. So it was really tricky to do that remix.
Nice. Well, it's always nice to have a challenge and see. Hugh Morgan asks, from South Wales, UK, if you could go back in time, where and when would you go? Or where and when would you like to go, and why? If you go back in time.
Oh fuck! I told Adelia just earlier that in my last dream last night I went back in time. I went to a club, to a certain party, but that was just a dream. And I just saw Blade Runner again, the original theater version from '82, and I think I wanted to be in a theater when it first was screened. This movie is mind-blowing, and I wanted to sit in a theater and watch it for the first time, actually, in a theater.
It was absolutely mind-blowing. And at the time, which I remember quite well, is that like there was like a plethora of good movies. It wasn't just like that. It wasn't just Blade Runner. It was like so many other quintessentially great movies that came out at the time, like The Thing, and some of the classic movies like Videodrome, and like a long list of like creative people that were kind of just starting out at that time. Like Cronenberg wasn't even really famous yet, but it was a fantastic time. I mean, even the music in Blade Runner, Vangelis was still like able to make something that was like quite amazing.
Yes, it's just even now the soundtrack is still mind blowing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be honest and say that the new Blade Runner didn't do much for me. It just seemed like almost like a TV show versus like the real deal. I don't know how that worked out, but
yeah.
So I got to touch. Well, let's touch on this last subject. I just want to know what your thoughts are on this whole Ukraine situation. I know it's a deep subject because let's talk about the fact that you were in East Germany.
Yeah.
You know the situation a little better than other people, in the sense of what this whole sort of direction kind of feels like and what it means. And what's your thoughts on it?
That I don't really, because I grew up in East Germany. To us, the Soviets were our friends, our partners, our brothers. Then we transferred, and we learned that all the West are capitalists and they are enemies. That's how I grew up,
Yeah.
And then I transferred with my parents 2 years before the war came down to West Germany, and I just lived all my teenage years. I lived in freedom. But the thing is, when I lived in Germany, I didn't miss anything. I was free. I thought I was free. I didn't. I didn't feel imprisoned or anything. But it's really hard to, like now, I hear things also because I'm married to the second Russian woman now. And I know about the situation in Ukraine since 2014, that in East Ukraine, there is this war going against the Donbas region for 8 years already. So I know the history and I follow that since 2014. And now the war breaks out and the whole world is like going crazy. To me, it's already there for 8 years. So, and I hear a lot of information from everywhere in the world, you know, and I had to stop actually using social media for a while because it was too overwhelming. And I'm a pacifist. Even though I was in the army, I refused to put up to take a weapon in my hands. I was working at the medical stuff. I hate all kinds of violence. I hate this. I mean, war is just not a solution. And which is also really, I mean, I'm overwhelmed with emotions because my wife is Russian. I'm deeply involved somehow in this because we get bombarded with information every day. She's stuck here also with me, which is also, she lives here since October now, late October, and we're waiting for her official papers since October. And our marriage certificate is waiting to get certified by the German government since October. And they don't do anything. They are just fucking lazy or overworked, or I don't know. It's so there's a lot of pressure on me, and the situation is not easy. And I hope this shit is over soon.
It's really sad.
It's really sad. I feel for everyone involved. I hate this. I hate this war. But
the one thing I think that has to be said too, though, is that there is so many beautiful, wonderful people in Russia that we've met that we can't like hold it against them for what's going on, or we got to actually feel a little bit of sympathy for what is going on. I mean, it's almost like a reverse situation of America in a weird way that we're all like living and witnessing, but yet we don't even know what sort of propaganda is like going on. So we can't really make that decision. What we have to do is just look inside and see that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, like say for instance, even on my Patreon crew here, I've lost some of my top, I'll still call them my top supporters were from Russia, and they couldn't continue to support because of the cutoff, but like sent me the most heartfelt messages about it. And so I'm thinking like, when we went to Russia, we met just the most amazing people.
Yeah.
I really feel bad. It's like this situation. I hope it ends. I hope it ends and we can return to the feeling where people can actively enjoy the idea of culturally exchanging the relationships again.
Yeah.
That would be so sad if that wasn't able to continue.
Yeah.
So were you ever able to go to where your wife is from and see her hometown?
No, we were just together in Moscow, but we were planning actually to go this summer, but because of the situation, it's hard to get a visa now for Russia. And so we just have to postpone it, I guess. But it's going to happen one day. And that's also because she prepares me for that trip, because they like to eat and they like to feed you. Russians are very welcoming people, and it's going to be tricky for me to maintain my weight.
Has she introduced any traditional Russian dishes to you in the kitchen?
Oh yeah. Just the other day, like 2 days ago, we had echpechmak, which is this triangle dish filled with meat, and she cooks very, very well also. So all the pasta you see is usually our teamwork. Yeah, she's a perfect cook. She makes the perfect eggs, morning eggs. Yeah. So
Daniel, I miss you. I love touring with you and love seeing you every day. You were just like a great person to be around, and I hope that if I can see that happen again one day, I really like to see it happen. So
yeah, me too.
I'd like to wish you the very best over there in Leipzig. Say hello to the bandmates and everybody.
I will. You too.
Have yourself a wonderful evening over there, and all the best for Rihanna. She's sitting over here.
Thank you. Hi, Rihanna. Good night.
Good night.